Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 676 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Chakamalda. Today we're going to be talking about nerd cable wiring, probably Dune, who knows. We're going to be doing that with Chris DeBona.
Hi.
Rob Roseboom.
That's me.
Gentlemen, did we have a good weekend?
Yeah.
I had a busy weekend. How about you, Zen? Tell me about you, Zen. I like talking to Zen. You're nice, Rob.
Yeah.
Weekends are neither good nor bad. They just exist.
Okay. I got my Icon pass for skiing, so that's exciting. I'm very excited about skiing. And it came with magnet poetry. It's like it's 1990, you know? So
Fancy.
yeah, and some stickers. Who doesn't like stickers? And a patch, but it's like an adhesive patch. So.
Oh, I did get my COVID booster this weekend.
Oh, I got
congrats.
mine yesterday.
Yeah.
So, did you?
Booster buddy.
I cocktailed it. Did you go consistent or did you switch?
Yeah, dude, I'm straight Moderna.
You're straight Moderna. So I went
all the way.
Pfizer. My doctor's like, no, everyone's switching off. That way you get full coverage. You know?
Not me. I'm a purist.
You're a purist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only the Moderna race for you. Yeah.
See, I'm jelly because I tried to do it, but I didn't have, I guess, a comorbidity or something that lets me get into the queue right now.
Now wait for it. Rob, have you considered being a fat ass?
Hold on. Let me start eating.
Well,
I actually might make it because the measure is by BMI, right?
Right. I think it's 30. Over 30 is I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's a number that most Americans
A fairly
over
achievable digit.
to hit.
Well, I'm a fairly stocky person, and also I'm 50.
Yeah,
So, you know, I'm
that
50.
helps.
You believe this crap?
Oh, I believe it.
I told you it
So
was pain.
the first shot really kind of kicked my ass. I
Me too.
had pretty bad flu.
Yeah.
Second one, maybe a little bit better. This, hardly anything. Just I still have a big red bump on my arm. It's kind of sore yet, but as far as like flu or fever, not so much.
Yeah, I had less swelling in my arm than the second shot. The first shot, I just napped a lot. Second shot, I had a really sore arm and I napped. And this one, I was a little sleepy and a little swell. But it's also Pfizer versus Moderna. So
Right.
I've got them Pfizer antibodies, the Moderna antibodies. I'm one J&J away and a Sinovac and a
From the-
Rusvac.
Going for the
From the-
trifecta?
Well, the quintet. Yes.
Cool. See, I
Yeah,
think you
track
should
down
just
some
start
of that AstraZeneca, get the full alphabet, baby.
and do some shots of ivermectin.
Well, I was gonna say I've also been drinking a lot of horse dewormer, so I feel like I'm pretty safe.
And
Yum.
have you been mega dosing vitamin D or what's the other
I've
one
been-
they were doing? Like
I've been exposing myself to as much UV light as possible.
Internally and externally.
Yeah.
yeah,
So-
and I drank a little bit of bleach, but you know, just
But that's just for
recreational
recreation,
amounts.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, just like a capful. That's not.
You know.
That won't kill you.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob,
Don't do any of this. This is we're
that
joking.
might kill you.
Capful of bleach would not kill an adult.
I'm not saying anything. I don't know. I'm no doctor, but I ain't taking a cap full of bleach.
Let's get started.
So there's a really cool story on there that is really worth a read, but it's the Moscow State University network that the students built, and they have a picture
That's
of this
cool.
building that you've seen 1,000 times in pictures of a Moscow University, the Moscow University, and they talk extensively about how they didn't have internet access there throughout the 2000s, from up until 2011 or something. And the students took it upon themselves to build a network, by the way, which wasn't really allowed by the administration, so it had to be kind of done surreptitiously. And there is so many interesting things in this about how they were using the 8 wires in twisted pair.
Look at that.
There's pictures of cables strung out of walls. There's a whole thing about how all the network administrators had to learn how to pick locks because they had to pick locks to get into the rooms where the hubs were. And they talked about how they would split the twisted pairs on Cat5 cables so they could do two strings, 2 runs through
Yeah.
these cables just so they could double up because they were trying to shove cables through like narrow pipes throughout the building. And then they could double their capacity that way. It's a really cool story about ingenuity. They talk about how there were rivaling networks, and sometimes they would cut the rival network like out of spite. I mean, it's a really cool story and
This is
definitely
a
worth your
fantastic
time.
story. Look at this. Look at this. It's like a spider web. It's amazing.
Yep.
You know, if one of these Moscow kids wants to apply at Google, you know, for our SRE, you know, just email me. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's a pretty extraordinary.
Can you imagine
yeah.
the spanning tree protocol bounces on this thing? You know, it's all over the place.
Well, they've got the topology in one of the graphics in the article, and they talked about how it would go up and down, and the networks were constantly growing and shrinking as they would add new rooms. Like you get a hub room, and then you could run it out to a dozen more students. I don't know. I just think that's really neat. I've said this.
This is great.
I've said this many times, but in the list of transformative things in my life, having a dorm room with wired internet 24/7 in Voorhees during my junior year of college was possibly the most influential thing in my life, besides like my dad having a 286 and a modem.
Yeah. My question is, was the Voorhees named for the Jason Voorhees?
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Oh. I always assumed it was.
I mean, it has to have been.
Do you think that this building that was built like 100 years before these movies, maybe they renamed it? I don't know.
Jason is eternal. That's the thing we learned from Jason X, you know, with all the Canadian science fiction actors.
He's always
X.
been.
Jason X is still one of my favorite, has my single favorite scene of all of those movies.
Yeah.
For sure. And to be fair, the latest Halloween movie has the same plot.
Oh.
What?
Mike
They went to
Myers
space?
Mike Myers is forever.
With
He's
all the
immortal.
actors from Andromeda?
He's a zombie.
Yay. All right. Minor, but the Patty Jenkins Star Wars Rogue Squadron movie has been delayed.
So
Nobody's
Patty
surprised.
did the first Wonder Woman, which was good.
She did both
she do
Wonder
the second
Womans.
one, which was bad.
Yeah, she did them both.
All right.
And if you hear interviews, they will say things like studio meddling for the second movie.
Mhm.
I don't know or care, but
To be fair, the end of the first Wonder Woman it ain't that great either.
That's true.
right. I feel like between those two movies, they got 3 good acts.
Yeah.
Just they're not all
Boy,
in the same
Cheetah
movie.
was terrible. So Rogue Squadron, which we're all looking forward to. I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm in on it. But delayed. They
Hopefully they won't meddle too much.
they were
And,
they were
add like a undead husband rape scene.
dude
To,
in Star
sorry,
Wars.
that was pretty screwed up. No, in Wonder Woman 2. Remember? She
I know.
basically, You know, pod people some poor dude and
Yeah.
turns him into her boy toy.
You just puppet your
awful.
handsome man, but then you
You're a
don't see
handsome
that
puppet.
handsome man. You see a different handsome man.
Yeah, and he's like some bog standard like Hallmark Channel handsome man. He's in like in all of the bad Christmas movies on the Hallmark Channel apparently.
But then you upgrade
So.
to a pine.
Yeah. Imagine, you know, that they kind of did the Hallmark Channel dude dirty in that one. That's all I'm going to say.
That's fair.
It is fair.
The story was saying that it sounded like they just couldn't get the script locked down in time, and now she has to film like 3 other things.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you know, the COVID threw off all the schedules.
Right.
You know, I get it.
well, and
for sure.
also I kind of love that can be the thing now. Like, and maybe we're just seeing more visibility into it. It's like, hey, the script sucked. Maybe just don't make it. That's okay.
Yeah. Well, just take a beat, you know?
Because, I mean, the only things that we make now are these $200 million, $300 million movies. That's the only, like, theatrical thing. Get it right. just get it right.
We should make a movie. That's what this is coming from.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's make a movie.
All right. What?
Done.
You know, we've got the special effects, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Zen's a brilliant writer, you know. We could do
We
something.
could do this. We could do this.
All
for
right.
sure.
I'm happy to edit.
Yeah. You're terrible at most things, though, Malda. No.
I know.
You'd be all right. Yeah, you could. How do you feel about After Effects? And
I don't
stuff?
know
We'll go-
After Effects,
we'll
but
go
I could
full-
learn it.
We'll go full mirror mask.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
I'm in.
Okay.
And editing is the
Vitamin
one thing
Cop.
I know how to edit.
Oh, I got it. Vitamin Cop. It's a story about an FDA police officer. Did you even know they have police officers? I didn't. So we're going to pretend they do. So he's an inspector, police officer. He's a cop in the inspector general's office of the FDA, and he goes around to different Walgreens, Rite Aids, and Duane Reads and pulls vitamins and tests them to see if they're real. And he gets caught up in a web of intrigue and is hunted. And there's lots of scenes of people running away because we have to do this like separate and stuff. So
Right.
Yeah.
Can we call it Vitamin Dick?
that's not bad, but it's hard to market.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I don't know if you know this, but the colloquial word for private investigator is also it's a genitalia.
I know. It's weird.
Well, we would just be making a different movie at that point, right?
Or all three of us make our own movie that's exactly the same, and then we edit them all together.
Yeah.
That'll work.
No, I think we should we should definitely consider postulating.
Or maybe
You're
we
right
should just
about
like
this.
let it die right now and for the best.
Or we should pretend we already did it and
Yeah.
that Bates lost it.
It's yeah.
We just
Bates
talk
lost.
about it from now on.
Remember
Yeah,
the movie?
Remember when we filmed Vitamin D?
Yeah.
Vitamin Dick. PI.
I don't want to brag, but the twist at the end
PDPI.
where it turns out the president was behind all the fake vitamins was really good.
The president of
The
Iraq.
problem is then Trump was elected and he had a fake vitamin label.
Ugh.
So, real life really made our movie unuploadable. Thanks, Bates.
Ugh.
All right, ketchup.
That's right. Heinz has released Mars Edition ketchup. Now, what makes this ketchup special is that it's grown in conditions that are meant to simulate Mars, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that too, and I'm not exactly sure what that means.
Right.
Like in conditions where there's no water? Is that what you mean?
Right. Does Matt
Yeah.
Damon do all the hoeing?
Matt Damon.
That's a good question. Let's see. Florida Institute of Technology, which I had not heard of. I mean, I've heard of Florida State.
You mean fit?
Well, I mean, you haven't heard of them because they've been heads down working on these Mars tomatoes.
Well, I will point out, being able to grow stuff on Mars, that's science.
For
I'm
sure.
gonna go with that.
Absolutely,
you know.
absolutely.
And if you think about what, the equator of the planet's going to look like after a couple more decades of global warming, might be really handy. So,
Yeah, I can't wait to start growing pineapples.
yeah, right? And other tropical foods.
Mhm.
Chocolate, coffee.
So scanning through this, they don't really say,
Yeah.
unless I missed it, what Mars-like conditions means to them.
Well, I think that this is, we should go to the Aldrin Space Institute at Florida Tech. And then, doop. Aldrin Space Institute. And then we'll find Mr. Florida Tech News. Boop.
Oh, look at that happy farmer. He's so proud.
Well, I mean, that's a good looking tomato.
I
Well,
grew a
mean,
little
it's a small
tiny
tomato.
tomato.
Let's be honest, that tomato is
Known as the
It's a-
red house, not the greenhouse. Huh? Look at this. This is good quality alliteration here. Yeah.
that is one runty tomato. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Look
Well,
at
you
that
gotta
thing.
give him it. I mean, he's growing it on Mars.
Yeah, I
Uh,
guess. But
He's only
So,
got to fill one of
using-
those McDonald's packets.
yeah, oh yeah, it's true.
There was also shrimp temperature control. Did they actually reduce the air pressure though? Because
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
how do plants work? Like, does there have to be a certain amount of air pressure for the chemical? Is it the Krebs cycle?
The word oxygen doesn't appear in this article.
For
Neither does the word
chlorophyll
air.
to grab
Well, they don't need
CO2
oxygen.
from the air, right?
Mhm.
It needs sun. It needs CO2, and does it need a certain air pressure? That's
The word
very-
pressure does not occur in that
I
article.
would imagine it would, just because of the way plants respirate, right?
Right.
They have passive respiration. So they're like insects in that way. They don't have lungs. They don't have a thing that causes a vacuum. They just have openings. So
Whoa.
Right. So things fall into the.
Did you see what Ambalo just posted?
No.
Dean Stockwell died.
Oh, Dean. My mentat.
Does he get buried with Ziggy?
There we go. Oh, Dean Stockwell, brother. Wow.
I loved Quantum Leap.
Yeah, it was really good.
That's sad. Tomatoes, air pressure.
He was great. He was great in BSG. He was great in everything.
Do you mean tomatoes?
You say tomato.
I say shut up.
Tomato. Dr. Yui.
Nate told the story once about going to an audition where, like a play audition in college, where a girl auditioned singing that song, but sung the whole thing not knowing that she was supposed to mispronounce the words.
So it's like the Saturday Night Live bit.
Yep, you say tomato, I say tomato, you say potato, I say potato.
Say potato.
That was the
Potato,
she did that.
potato. Yeah.
Well, okay. So first
Nice.
of all, I think that's great that they're making tomatoes from Mars. You know, I have to admit, the last thing I was worried about was overpopulation on Mars, but they're gonna need tomatoes. They're gonna need salsa. So,
Yeah, if they can get potatoes and tomatoes, they're all right.
yeah,
Someone's going to need to make the sauce to go with the pasta for sure.
for sure. Yeah, you could have a casserole. You know, if you get enough things. Yeah.
So, Rob, were you the one that shared the wind farm story?
I did.
Such a Rob story.
Isn't that screwed? I mean, so years ago I read a book. Oh, it's called Galileos Revenge, I think. It's about junk science in the courtroom, basically. And this story just reminded me of, we just had another recent one where a senator didn't understand just the basics of computer programming.
Yeah.
Can't remember exactly what the context was.
It was.
Are you gonna do something about Finsta?
F12 is hacking.
Oh yeah, it
F12,
was
yeah.
the looking at the HTML. So yeah, this is the same thing. This, even though other courts might not follow it, at least this is precedence now for this. This emboldens people to start filing these lawsuits. And it's just, I'm not sure what the answer to all this is, other than some sort of like science advisory board, but then that becomes all convoluted and weird too, because who gets to be on that? How do we set that up?
Us.
And it wouldn't be good because it would be political as well. It's just, I don't know what the solution to problems like this are, but clearly
I think, one answer is they don't deserve power.
Like electricity? Or
Yeah,
like
I think
representation in Congress?
Yes, but no, when I think about folks, people are happy to take the benefits, but the societal cost is something that they see as being visited only upon themselves. This is a lot like the anti-vaxxers. They're like, I can't believe that I'm going to have to vaccinate. All these other people are vaccinated. Why would I vaccinate? And it's like, yeah, you have to do your part. You're part of society. They're like, well, I don't want to be part of society. It's like, okay, we're going to put you on an island with the other non-society people, and y'all can deal with it yourself.
Yeah.
But the problem is there's only so many islands.
This is the NIMBY thing.
have fun laying roads.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so the other side of this is like, so we all have a price to pay for where we've gotten as a planet, as a species, right? So if I go 3 miles that away as the crow flies, there's a super fun site, because on this island was a timber operation. It was the largest in the northern hemisphere for a while, and they used a ton of creosote. And you know where they put that stuff? Right in the ground, right? So you've got a pumping station that's trying to pull the creosote out of the ground and keep it out of the groundwater that we all drink. And that's a price we all pay in this country for the thousands of Superfund sites that came from the progress of the country. And it's like, I'm not suing them. We're addressing it as a society. I don't know. This just seems like, legislative and governmental failure, that somebody can say, you know what, this turbine is personally offensive to me. It's like, well, you know what?
I'd like a religious exemption to wind power.
Right. And the thing is, that turbine means they're not dumping hundreds of megatons of CO2 into the air. It's all those things, but it's also,
not just we don't like the wind turbines.
Yeah.
It's the wind turbines are causing us ill health effects.
Yes.
It's just bullshit junk science.
Yeah. And the thing is, and the other problem is when it's not bullshit junk science and there really is a side effect that, as a society we have to address immediately, this sort of stuff gums it all up, right? It's like, how do you address the thalidomide when, you're worried about the Fondrews being offended by the sound? It's like,
look, Flint's got a whole water system that people lied about for a while. But like
yeah.
I was just up in the.
Didn't Elon Musk say he was going to fix that though? Isn't that fixed thanks to Elon
Oh yeah,
Musk?
he promises a lot.
He lied.
But like I was just driving up north this weekend, and I think those big turbines are awesome, and I wish I could see one from my house.
I mean, I have sympathy because it kind of stinks to be next to a big, loud installation. I get that, right? But the answer isn't. So maybe we're just taking this all the wrong way. Maybe what the 100,000 was 100,000 in value for thicker windows, better insulation, and a taller fence. Okay, maybe that's what this is. But it's like
maybe like a little white noise machine.
Yeah, this is almost a kilometer from these wind turbines. So, yeah.
Well, I can't say that I've lived in a house, so I don't know.
They live next to the turbines for 5 years before they say any ill effects started. So
yeah,
I mean, yeah,
just like people who decide to buy one of those houses right next to Heathrow or Detroit Airport, and they're like, oh, they're really loud,
Cool. All right, let's see.
I get all bitchy about that.
Yeah, no, I don't like when people. Well, I mean, they just want money. That's all it is. Give us some money. That's what it is.
Again, I don't think there's anything wrong. Like if they're gonna end up citing something loud and bright next door, it's okay for them to go to the neighbor and say, we're gonna see about putting in better insulation, give you triple pane windows with thermally broken. Like I think that's not a terrible answer.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But again, that's not what they're saying. They are saying this gave me cancer.
And
I have
wind
cancer all day
cancer.
long. And,
and if it is just a cash payment, that doesn't solve the problem.
Right.
The
Right.
BS problem that doesn't exist. It's just money. What are they shoving money in their ears and putting money over their eyes so they can't see it? And they putting do they have band-aids made of money?
Yeah, they're using money medicinally, Chris.
It's medicinal money.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
They burn it and then inhale the fumes from the money, and that helps clear up their lung issues.
Well, that's why the rich people notoriously never get cancer. They're just breathing in money.
Well, they don't inhale cash. Cash is like largely plasticized in Europe, right? So you wouldn't want to inhale that.
Nope.
So, but rich people probably have bespoke organic money that they can burn.
Yeah.
Sandalwood scented,
Locally sourced money.
Locally sourced organic sandalwood money.
Yeah.
Rob, Chris, you shared a boys trailer for season 3, and the funny thing is it took me like a good 2 seconds to figure out what this was. Like, I've seen this guy, but he's not like the most major character on that show. So it's like
A-Train?
What's that?
A-Train's incredibly popular.
Sure, but he's not like he's not, for me anyway, the most recognizable. The most recognizable part of that show is Homelander and the little Star Girl. Yeah.
So let me just fanboy a little bit. I think these are freaking brilliant. The people who write these things,
they're committed.
Everything is. I can't imagine it being more perfect. These are fantastic. I give them all the credit in the world. Yeah. These are the best promos I've ever seen for anything.
That's cool.
And you watch them and you're just like, this is fantastic. Like they have this whole news cycle. Yeah. They have a whole channel. There's a whole thing just in this one alone about VOT Plus, which is their Disney Plus competitor. And it's so funny here. Yeah, let me see if I can go to the dumb promo. It's oh my God, the Disneyland equivalent with May's Inclusive Kingdom.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is so
real.
good. It's such a good
And
indictment of everything.
the
Here.
petting zoo.
Maeve's inclusive.
Brave Maze Inclusive Kingdom. I'm like, because like when she came out in the show, she's like, I don't want VOD to know. They're gonna turn it into a corporate initiative.
And then
I'm
they
gonna
did.
become like, and everything came to pass exactly as she said.
Yep.
It was absolutely brilliant. I'm trying to find the VOD plus.
There's I give them a lot of credit for doing clever advertising. This show is definitely one where the people who are in are not just there clocking for a paycheck. They're like, we're
They
gonna
love the
do it.
story, you know.
Yeah, they get it. They get their product, and they get why people like their
Yeah.
product.
And they're willing to take it outside of the boundaries of just being a TV show. They know that it's a world, and they know that we want to experience that world because it makes our world seem worse, better,
Yeah, different.
real.
The best. So this segment, literally, it could be me and Robert, Zen, bitching about the wind farm allergies. And he's just like, I can't believe people are blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, that's that I resemble that a little bit. I'm gonna, yeah. So
I don't know
trying
what
to find
Dr.
the
Brain
plot
is.
plus. I don't either.
It's
It's a show. So the reason I put this up is not because I have watched this trailer, which I have not done yet. I'll watch it later.
so
The reason I put it up is that it seems like Apple Plus is really getting its stride. I haven't watched Foundation though. I was wondering if y'all had.
Oh yeah,
I
I'm all
had
in.
it. From what I can tell, this is a sort of Japanese remake of Dreamscape, where
Oh, great.
they build sort of a machine, except it's more about reading people's thoughts and not dreams. So he can download someone's brain basically and know everything they know, have all their memories, reactions, and stuff.
Yeah.
And while he's doing this, somehow he becomes aware that a child that he had that thought died is not dead. So it becomes sort of a murder, or not
He's
a murder
alive
mystery,
in
but-
his mind.
but a mystery to him that he has to solve by, evidently taking bits of other people's thoughts with this machine that he has worked on.
It looks. I'll watch the trailer, but as far as Foundation goes, I'm actually really enjoying it. But it's not. It's not fast. It's taking its sweet time. It's a real chill show, but Lee Pace is awesome. I love everything that they're doing with his character's thing. But the other plot lines I struggle with a little bit. They kind of are dragging a little long. Like, come on, man, get to whatever you're gonna do. Come on. And there's like 4 separate plot lines that they're trying to keep up with in each episode. That's a lot. It's like I like half of your plot lines. Do those. All right. Well, we've got the man who donated his body to science, but then
That story is crazy.
I don't remember if Zen put this up first or if I did. Zen, did you do it?
I linked it. I don't know if you did too, but
What a
yeah.
wow.
So
Right,
yeah, they sold
So
tickets.
what happened was there was a person who donated their body to science. It went to one thing. I think they pulled out like a couple things they needed. Then they passed it to another one. They pulled out a couple things they needed. Then they sold it to basically
Well,
an entertainment company.
Yeah, he had COVID, so they wouldn't accept his body, and that's why they gave it to these other people
Yeah.
who were basically like hosting the show, where for $500 you can watch them basically part somebody.
Yeah.
You don't need to be a medical student. You don't need any credentials in the medical field. You just have to know that the event is happening and lay down $500.
Yep. And then you'll go to the Portland Marriott on the Water, which is the crappy one. and you'll go to a conference hall, and that same conference hall will have weddings the next weekend, the previous weekend, maybe that night. Who knows?
It's live. It's not even like on a TV.
No.
It's live.
Oh.
So
It's
and then
so
you have
gross.
this old man who's like, I've lived a really long life. I had COVID. Maybe science can use my body to help someone else. I'm gonna donate my body to science
Oh.
and hopefully make the world a better place. And they're like, don't forget to tip your waitress.
Science
on the
don't
way
care.
out. Like, holy
Speaking
cow.
of tips, look what I found. No.
Yeah,
Ugh.
they lay this guy out, and you can watch them take out his guts. And yeah, I assume they talk about relevant medical things while they're doing it.
Sure.
Instead of, having a stand-up comedian or something up there.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Yeah.
Health insurance.
Look at that, guys. Moles.
It's
I don't have the
yeah.
heart for this discussion.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, it would have to be a prop comic too.
I don't mean to vent my spleen.
Yeah.
Well, let's give Doctor a hand.
Let me explain
Oh.
you something.
Oh.
Lend me your ear. Oh, yeah, no, there's nothing good about the story. Space tacos.
Space
We all like
tacos.
space tacos.
I do
They-
like
they-
that the fact that they are the story headline is NASA's latest breakthrough, best space tacos yet. The fact that they have a yet means that there has been generations of space tacos, and I like
yeah.
that. I like knowing that that tacos will eventually, become
Well, and
commanding tacos.
and the story really is just that they grew peppers, right?
Yeah.
Like
Hot
that's it.
peppers, yeah.
So
I didn't have like a chicken up there or like a cow.
Right.
They,
they could have
Although-
just as well said they should have made these into poppers. Although I bet the oil would be different.
I have to tell you though, the idea of a space cow, kind of like how manatees are sea cows, they like look like a big tardigrade or something. That'd be all right.
Just float them outside in a bag.
Carne space asada.
They'd be like really marbled, like veal, right? Because
yeah.
they'd just kind of be floating and never use any muscles.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah. The whole thing would be like one big tomahawk stick,
Space Kobe.
Space Kobe.
I'm sorry. I only eat meat grown in anti-gravity and in microgravity.
Imagine how expensive it would be.
Imagine
I've
just-
had A5 beef. It's just basically one hunk of fat, so it's not that great. I like a little more meat to my fat cubes.
Yeah, I just like thinking about in the future someone spitting out their steak. And being, "Blah, was this animal born in gravity?"
Ugh.
What kind of animal do you think I am?
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
And don't give me one of those cows you grew underwater. That's not the same.
You shouldn't eat manatee. Come on. The gentle giants of the power stations of the East Coast.
The last one that I have on.
They like hot tubbing, so they take the outflow water from the Tampa power station, and there's like 1,000 manatees right there, just like hanging out in the warm water. So if you ever get a chance, you should go check them out.
The manatees. When I'm there, should I swing through Carol Baskin's cat rescue and give him a few $100?
Or just 10 for a Diet Coke and a postcard. So,
Gotta support that.
And again, a delicious hamburger.
It's so yummy.
Not
This
made from
hamburger
sea
wasn't
cow.
grown in microgravity. Ugh,
Carol Baskin, you've disappointed again.
what a
Can't
scam.
believe how tender this burger is.
You can
All
really
right.
taste Todd. Well, I don't know. I don't remember what her husband's name was.
That was probably like Buck.
Right? The last one that we had on the list was just
Oh, there's another one.
yeah. There's one more. It's one that makes me. Maybe you don't have it. It makes me just angry, and I just wanted to be able to bitch about it because every now and then that just feels better. It's Pinterest ruined photo searching on the internet. And this is something we have all experienced. You do an image search, a third of the results are Pinterest, and you can't actually get the picture. And this is just a whole article about that, and that's one of my biggest pet peeves. All that content behind paywalls or sign-ins, so your search is not useful. And then the article talks about Chrome plugins that just filter Pinterest out of search results, things like that, to work around the problem.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of. Yeah, I'm not a Pinterester. So Core is the same way for me. Yeah, I mean, this Ben Krasno guy knows what he's talking about. So, yeah. I don't know. If I know anybody at Google, I'll ask them about it. But
You're not going to do that. They're in a different department.
well, they are, but I know folks. I used to work with Matt Cutts back when he would make these kinds of decisions, and I'd be like, "Can we just like?" And he's like, "Well, not really. We want to be fair." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So, yeah,
I miss Matt Cutts.
he's a great guy. So good, All right, well,
One of the reels.
That's that story.
That was the last one we had on the list. Let's see. The Eternals came out this weekend, but my car is not working.
Oh no! So you haven't seen the Eternals?
I haven't seen the Eternals. I'm hoping to go tomorrow, but
Do you feel a loss? I'm sure it'll be like Shang-Chi. It'll be fine.
yeah, whatever.
Whatever will be the end.
That's really how I feel about. That's how I felt about the Eternals and how I felt about Shang-Chi and like whatever. Spider-Man, on the other hand, that one I want. I want that a lot. Yep.
Okay.
Shall we say goodbye, gents?
I gotta go.
All right. Goodbye, Christabona.
Bye.
Goodbye, Rob Roseboom.
Goodbye.
That was Geeks in Space. I was Rob, Commander Taco Malta. We'll see you Friday. Bye.